Um, and now we're on to just our general ramblings and news stuff, of which it feels like it's been a busy week for that stuff. I feel like we had a couple of quiet weeks there, and then we kind of got slapped in the face
Yeah,
by all of it.
we've had a couple of big things this week.
So, as I said at the beginning of the episode, today, as you guys are listening to this, or if you're listening to it in like 2 weeks' time, 2 weeks ago, October 7th, we're supposed to be getting Werewolf by Night.
By
I wrote
midnight.
by midnight in the comments. I'm pretty sure it's just Werewolf by Night. I don't know
think
why I
it
put
is.
midnight.
It's already getting its first reviews, I think. I think I saw
Yeah.
earlier today.
So it's a Halloween spooky project. It is based on an existing Marvel IP. It's nothing new. It looks like it's gonna obviously be set in the MCU, but very different. I think it's not necessarily gonna set up, but it's them testing the waters for stuff like Midnight Suns and Blade and stuff to get an idea of what people enjoy. It looks like it's all in black and white. It could be creepy, it could be silly, it could be really fun. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I think more so it's a way actually for them just to test kind of these more one-off. Bit like in a way what DC's done with their like more standalone random films that are a bit
There's
more
stuff
different
that was
style.
supposed to be classed as black label films, but then
Yeah.
they got rid of that branding for no apparent reason.
I'm wondering if this is Marvel's way of maybe doing a bit more of that, but still having it tie in because they want everything to be all tied in and connected.
Just stuff that's going to sit off to the side. And yes, it has happened in the same universe, but it's nothing big enough for everyone else to give a crap about.
Yeah, I think if anything, it's just to allow them to be able to mention these characters in passing, and it doesn't feel so out of place.
And I
Interested to
do
see.
think that's valid, because that brings us on to the rumors that apparently Marvel are moving away from Disney Plus shows.
Yeah, I haven't seen this, so I don't know where.
I've seen a couple of articles come out today and yesterday that apparently Marvel aren't currently happy with the format they're using Disney Plus in.
Okay.
Like internally, not they dislike Disney Plus a platform,
Yeah.
that they just don't think they're using it properly. And there are considerations about moving away from doing shows on there and doing specials like Werewolf by Night on only, or just changing the way they structure their series altogether or something. So over the next year or so, we could see some big changes into how that stuff is handled, which also lends itself to the idea of why Armor Wars has been changed from a TV show to a film.
Yes, but I'm pretty sure I saw with it like the director just with things being moved around and like its place and release time and stuff, they kind of decided they actually wanted to do it properly or do it more so in a kind of proper sense and give it a full-on film to really tell the story properly or those characters properly.
Yeah,
I think I'm not against the decision at all. Obviously, like either or doesn't really matter to me. I quite happy was quite happy to have it as a show. Still, just as happy to have it as a film. Whatever they feel is a better way to tell the story that they want to tell, and
you've got to trust the creative team to make the right decision, I guess.
Yeah, and maybe, like you say, maybe they release it straight to Disney Plus, and it's like a film on Disney Plus. Maybe they start doing that. I don't know if they're not quite happy with the shows. I wonder if this is also feeling like what we've discussed many times, which is the pacing issue, and like the series always feel kind of short. Like,
but you've also got to remember, there's not been a single Disney Plus show that hasn't had people shit on it for some reason or another.
Yeah, there's always been something. Do you know what
There's always been something people have been upset about.
Do you know what I think will really determine what they do? Is how the Daredevil show goes down. But even that's a while off now.
2024.
So yeah, I was going to say, because that's good.
The plan for that may well change.
Well, that's a longer series. So I was thinking, like, if they put that out and everyone loves the fact it's a longer series, maybe they'll lean into that. Or maybe they are already thinking, actually, we've seen that people are excited about the fact that Daredevil's longer.
Maybe we move other stuff to it like that. Yeah.
Yeah. But that and Armor Wars, looking forward to.
But as you said, you got to trust the creative team. But there was obviously some concern last week over the Blade creative team and what was going on over there. And then, as fucking always, 20 minutes after we finished recording, we saw tweets and reports that Sam Raimi's come on board to take over as the director of Blade. The previous director, whose name escapes me, is going to be staying on as an executive producer, I believe. But Raimi's going to be taking the reins.
Oh dear.
But this goes down to, I can't remember if we said it on the podcast or in messages, but we said there's going to be like a core group of directors, same Raimi, Ryan Coogler, who does the Black Panther films, who are trusted and respected, who are going to get these projects.
Well, yeah, it was like,
for better or for worse.
We said that it kind of feels like Kevin's probably trying to build a set of directors that he knows. I like like your creative styles and how you take these things. Trust you with this, so he's not as spread thin trying to do everything.
Yeah.
And
if he can get rid of half the films to directors he can trust and like not have to check in on, that means he's then looking after the same amount of films he was looking after in the earlier stages, so that he can look after them, but they can do twice as many films.
And I 100%, like we said last week, obviously this director's not got to grips with it, and we were like, he's going to be out, and we'll probably see a director Kevin's already used get plugged in to kind of be like, or himself, and like Sam Raimi being picked. So you 100% know Kevin's that's landed on Kevin's desk that there's issues with Blade. He's got on the phone to Sam and been like, right, we've got problems on Blade. Can you step in and take over? Sure. And I think actually it's quite smart. If he's keeping the previous director on as executive producer, it's giving that director an opportunity to be like, look, pay attention to what the fuck Sam's doing. Like, figure out like how this ship's meant to be running so that maybe I can still trust you to do projects.
Yeah.
And it's like,
very possible.
He's giving them the opportunity to try and still be one of these people he can lean on. Like, he's not fully outing him. Like, obviously trusts him to some degree, otherwise he wouldn't have fired him.
Or maybe more cynically, it's just, here's your executive producer title so that you don't cause a stink. Now fuck off.
Possibly.
But it's somewhere in between them two for sure. And I hope you are right. And it's more towards we like your ideas. We think you can do us good. You need to learn how to work in the Marvel way, though.
Yeah. It's kind of just figure it out. Like, this is your second chance and last chance to figure out how to help run this machine that is the MCU. And either you figure out or you're probably not going to get another project. So.
But, from Blade to Black Panther.
Oh my God, yes.
Final trailer.
It was so good.
I
raved about that.
Why so sexy though?
I raved about the first trailer being like the best Marvel trailer we've ever had, and I still think the first one hit harder than this. But like
the first one played more on the emotional overtones. This one was more of an actual trailer.
Yes, but I
seeing the Maw chilling in the air with his little fucking ankle wings flapping away was an experience.
Yeah, we got to properly see Namor. We got our first look at the new Black Panther in suit.
I mean, it's Shuri. Yes. If it's anyone other than Shuri, someone done fucked up.
But we got our first look at that. We got
Riri. And we got the iconic style of shot with her head in her suit and the fucking HUD. Yes. I mean, I tweeted about that. I took the still from that and I was like, this is good. We like this.
There was a lot of different, like, hints at different things. There was one thing I picked up on in this trailer so in the first trailer, we got, like, this scene of water and everything on fire, right? And that's all, we got it for, like, a brief moment. In this trailer, we get a scene of what is, I presume, the throne room with the glass windows and the chair in the middle. That is the same room that is filled with water on fire. So that's obviously got to do with Namor. So somehow that shit gets flooded and like is on fire and stuff. So there's very much some And I think we talked about the fact that there could be like a vibranium war here or something like between the two of them, and it seems like very much because there is a vacuum of power without the Black Panther. How
I, I, th-
they play that in at the beginning of the film, obviously, is why Namor's making a move.
I think part of it is based on like they have like the talking over of audio that doesn't match up with any of the scenes
Yeah,
you see and will be used in the film at some point. We get the impression that Namor's kind of unhappy with how the land peoples have been handling shit. And he's like, okay, I'm going to take over now because if I don't take over, you guys are going to destroy my people and I can't have that. So the only option is to invade. Very British of him.
yeah, and I
Um,
think it always also like the voiceover thing is like her talking to, I think when she's in the UN thing, and she's obviously talking
yeah,
about the fact that there are people that have been without a leader, i.e., we've got no Black Panther at the moment. So Namor also seeing that is like, well, ain't nobody there to defend him. Now's perfect time to try and fucking deal with this shit on
exactly.
my own.
But Namor and Atlantis and Black Panther and Wakanda have been at war so many times. It's a very common recurring theme in the comics, and I trust Ryan Coogler. It's a fantastic cast. It looks stunning. The costume design, the set pieces, they all look great. I'm so freaking excited for this film.
Oh, it's gonna be the best film. Because is this the last of this phase or the first? I can't remember which was. You can't remember
It's a
either,
good
can you?
question. It's a good question. I feel like when we discussed it, they actually didn't have Black Panther on that list, and it confused us even more.
Or did they? It
Um,
was that, or they said that, or they officially. Was it the fact that they officially said it was the end of a phase, which we hadn't had before?
would it have been episode 31? Is that right? I'm just
Can't
looking
remember.
at my notes.
But
Um,
whichever it is, like, if it is part of this phase, going to be the best film of this phase, full stop.
okay, I think my notes for that one are in a zip file, and therefore I cannot get to them.
Ah,
How sad. But
either
yeah,
way.
it's right near the end of this phase. Well, I don't think it's start of the next phase, so it has to be the end of this phase.
So it'll probably be the staple film of this phase by far.
I remember what it was. So they said this phase was going to end with She-Hulk, and the next phase was going to start with Ant-Man,
Oh,
and everyone
okay.
was confused, and then it got corrected that this phase ends with Black Panther.
Right. So yeah.
But I'm very excited. Some of the earlier reviews that have come out are looking very good, but they
Okay.
seem very early, so I'm not sure how much we can trust them.
Yeah, there must be just very early screen tests.
But we've kind of been in, I don't want to call it a rut. We've been in a bit of a consistency for like 6 weeks now, where it's just been the same couple of shows.
Yeah.
Now we're coming into like the next stage of stuff. So we've got Black Adam, Black Panther, and Tales of the Jedi all coming out like by the end of November. So Black
Yes.
Adam, like I said, is I believe the 21st, and
Mhm.
then Tales of the Jedi is the 26th, and then Black Panther's like the 11th of November.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it is the 11th of November because the 12th, 13th is when I've asked you to cover
Oh, yeah,
editing
you're
for me,
away.
and before me and Jenna go away on the Friday afternoon with Black Panther.
So yeah, we're gonna go from like the same consistent free shows to we're gonna ditch a couple of them.
We're gonna have to start actually coming up with talking points again, Hori.
Well,
God.
then we're gonna have like build up to films again, and
Yeah.
more stuff will
Character
come out.
profiles. It's gonna be
Yeah.
great.
Things will be back to the and I mean, who knows? Something else might just drop that out of nowhere. maybe we'll get surprised with some new show or something.
Just no more delays, please.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if we can. I'm fully expecting more DC delays. I'll be honest.
I think they don't know what they're doing, and they're kind of scrambling, hoping for someone to like fly down and give them like a golden playbook or something.
Maybe it's Black Adam.
Maybe. But I mean, I have to say it. I kind of want Black Adam to be shit because The Rock has pissed me off.
I know you.
My man is like one of the most toxic comic book fans possible because he's walking around like he owns the character, while fundamentally changing the character.
I'm
So he's like one of these guys who's like, oh, I know the character better than you, and then just misquotes everything ever. But because he's The Rock, he's being allowed to get away with it.
yeah, because no one wants to question it.
But on the flip side, if the film's good, I'll be very happy about that. My concern will just be how much power The Rock gets given. Because with that genuine vacuum of power at the top of the DC decision making tree,
Mm-hmm.
if this film is very successful, The Rock will get given too much power. And while he's an okay action hero, he is not an executive for a multi-billion-dollar superhero franchise to be built around with him as the mastermind of.
No, they should build around Aquaman.
Let's be completely clear here. This man had it written in his Fast and Furious contracts that he has to be able to look really tough. That is not someone you want to be playing an anti-hero. Because there's no way The Rock, if he has enough power, is going to agree to being punched in the face by Superman and Shazam.
Who? I'm trying to remember. It's a very old actor who used to do a lot of action. I'm gonna blank on his name now.
What name of film?
So I can kind of visualize them, but I don't have a clue the name. Old films, but like premise was he could never lose a fight in his films.
One Punch Man.
And
sorry, have you ever seen One Punch Man, or has that just gone straight over your head?
I know the anime you're on about.
Okay, cool. One Punch Man's elite. Maybe that's what we do. We'll go through and watch it together.
We'll go to animes.
No, no, because One Punch Man's a superhero. Don't make it weeby.
Anyway, it's basically in his contract somewhere like he either can't get hit or he can't like lose fight. I think it's like he can't be seen to be like losing a fight or get hit. So there's like any time the director wanted to have him actually do a fight scene, it would constantly cut to stunt doubles taking hits because he wouldn't do it. Like he wouldn't ever want to be seen, and they could never show his face. Like it always had to be from behind and like not actually show the actor getting hit. Because
so weird.
I feel like that's what's gonna happen with The Rock. It's gonna be like they're gonna end up doing some like weird workarounds that then don't make the film good.
But we'll see what we get from it.
Yeah.